Tēnā koutou. I'm Vicky Coombs, mBraining trainer, learning leader, and transformational coach. And I'm here to answer your question. What is multiple braining? It's a great question, and I asked myself that a number of years ago. So neuroscience is pioneering. There is so much they're learning about what makes us tick. And in the last few decades, they've discovered that within our bodies, we have these complex, adaptive, functional neural networks. And they're so complex that they call them brains. So yes, we have the head brain. And our heart is a brain, so is our gut. So two gentlemen, Grant Susalu and Marvin Oka, were fascinated by this research. And they decided to do some exploring themselves. And so over a number of years, they did a whole lot of behavioral modeling around what are the primary functions of these brains, and do they communicate, and how do they communicate, and do they communicate with one another? And the answers were yes, there are primary functions, yes, they communicate discretely, and yes, they communicate with each other. And this matters because, in a day-to-day life, we have situations where our brains are not aligned with one another, where they're misaligned, then things don't happen for us. So I want you to think about a situation. Think about a time when you've truly wanted something and you've come up with lots of ideas of how you might achieve that, and then you haven't done it. So in that scenario, your heart wants, your head knows, and your gut says no. So there's misalignment between your multiple brains. So Grant and Marvin, through their work, created the field of mBraining, multiple braining, mBraining. And they created an emerging model and framework called Multiple Braining Integrative Techniques, MBIT, that we use to access what each of our brains is communicating, to figure out what each of them is sharing with us about ourselves. And then through this model, through MBIT, we can work to align our multiple brains, encourage them to communicate with one another, and bring ourselves to a congruent place where the decisions we're making, where our behaviors and where our goals become congruent and authentic and achieved. It's really exciting, and I just love the fact that through mBraining, I'm now walking into the world as a compassionate, creative, and courageous being. And so I invite you to journey with me, to learn with me. I look forward to meeting you. Kia ora and kia kaha.